Well, hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be talking all about extreme stress and hair loss. I know this is something a lot of you guys are dealing with right now. What with everything going on, plus the stress of the holidays, it's so easy to get run down, and that can lead you down a path of hair loss and hair shedding. Now, you all know a little hack I personally enjoy in my everyday life is my Athletic Greens green drink. I call this my nutritional insurance. It helps bridge the gaps in my diet when things get chaotic. Today's video is in partnership with Athletic Greens, and if you guys click the link in my description box, you can get a free gift with your Athletic Greens purchase, so definitely check it out. Now, both extreme physical and or emotional stress can certainly trigger a bout of hair loss. This is referred to as telogen effluvium. On the average adult scalp, we have about 100,000 hair follicles, and each of those hair follicles is constantly cycling between growing and then resting and shedding. And the majority of the hairs on our head are in the growing phase. This is referred to as anagen. Then when that growing hair follicle transitions to resting, that is referred to as telogen. Once it transitions, it sheds. And it's normal actually to lose about 100 hairs a day. And so that's just normal baseline shedding. However, when we undergo a very stressful event, what ends up happening is that a lot of the hair follicles on our head shift to that telogen stage, and that results in a more massive shedding. And that can be very distressing to go through. Right now, we're seeing even more cases of hair loss because of all of the stress that's going on in the world right now. But what exactly constitutes a stressful event? I mean, it seems like every day we have some kind of stress going on. Stressful events can include severe emotional stress, like going through a divorce, a pandemic, maybe losing your job, things that a lot more people are dealing with these days. Not only emotional stress, but physical stress. Having a viral illness actually can kick off a bout of hair loss. And having a fever or just being sick and run down. Poor nutrition, going through a crash diet, rapid weight loss. Undergoing surgery is another stressful event on your body that can be associated with a telogen effluvium. Certain medications also can shift your hair cycle over to the resting stage and be associated with a telogen effluvium. Giving birth. Intense physical activity like running a marathon or doing some kind of triathlon certainly can cause the hairs on your head to say, hey, we're not so much into growing right now, we're going to go into the resting stage, and that too can be associated with a telogen effluvium. It happens about 3 months after the stressful event, so a lot of times people have disconnected the trigger with the hair loss, but it typically occurs about 3 months after the fact. The hair loss happens, as I said, all at once, and it's more diffuse, so it's not just in certain areas and certain patches. With this diffuse hair loss, you may appreciate that your ponytail is thinner, not as thick as it once was. You may notice more hairs on your pillow when you wake up in the morning, a lot more hairs in the shower drain. With telogen effluvium, you're going from losing, on average, about 100 hairs a day to up to 50% of the hairs on your head shedding all at once. And in the majority of cases, your hair will return to baseline density, meaning once the bout of telogen effluvium is over, your hair will go back to its normal density. Unfortunately, this does take a long time. It typically takes about 6 months for the shedding to completely stop, and then your hair grows at a very slow rate. Naturally, it grows at about ½ an inch per month, so you have to be really patient. As I said, in the majority of cases, the hair density goes back to what it once was before the telogen effluvium event occurred. However, in some cases, the telogen effluvium can actually uncover an underlying hair loss process. So you may have had, unbeknownst to you, another hair loss process going on, and then after the telogen effluvium, that hair loss process becomes more obvious. And in some cases, unfortunately, telogen effluvium can become a chronic thing. I see this more often in women in their 30s and 40s, where they're constantly shedding for years. But rest assured, it does not lead to baldness. What can you do to prevent hair shedding? Truthfully, if you have gone through a stressful event, there's nothing you can do to stop telogen effluvium in its tracks. But things that you can do to prevent things like this from happening are to take good care of yourself. Making sure you have good nutrition is probably key. We all know the perfect diet does not exist, however, and our daily nutritional needs change depending on how much exercise we're getting, the time of year, etc. And for me, Athletic Greens really bridges that gap in the day-to-day, and that's why I call it my nutritional insurance. It's perfect if you are looking to square away your nutritional needs first thing in the morning, or maybe you're going through a lot of ups and downs with your schedule and some inconsistency. You don't necessarily always have access to the healthiest foods. This is a great choice. But what makes Athletic Greens unique from just taking a multivitamin? It's so much more than that. Athletic Greens is packed with 75 absorbable vitamins and minerals that are whole food sourced. But beyond that, it's also got probiotics and prebiotics, which are really important for gut health and enhance nutrient absorption. I love that it's an easy all-in-one product, so you don't have to buy multiple different products. And because it's delivered in powdered form, this avoids any heat processing. It mixes really well with water, and it actually tastes great while having less than 1 gram of sugar. It's 100% keto and paleo friendly. It's vegan, so that's important to me. It's also gluten-free, egg-free, nut-free, and dairy-free. There are no GMOs, no artificial colors or sweeteners, and no harmful chemicals or preservatives. As a matter of fact, what I love most about Athletic Greens is that it's NSF certified for sport. And what that means is Athletic Greens has met rigorous standards of testing and transparency with manufacturers to ensure that the formula is top-notch, no compromises. These safe standards are what is required for the world's top athletes and Olympians, and so it really validates what's labeled on the product. Athletic Greens is also a really great choice if you are athletic or you work out a lot and you're just looking to make sure that you're meeting your nutrient requirements. So definitely check out Athletic Greens, you guys, and click the link in my description box. You can get a free gift with your Athletic Greens purchase. So take advantage of it. I know you guys are going to love it. It tastes great. And for me, it's really helped in keeping me from getting run down with all the chaos of life these days. Yeah, it really is helpful for keeping me from getting too run down when things get chaotic. Also, within that diet, you need to make sure that you're getting protein, 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, roughly. Your hair is mostly protein. I've got videos talking about diet and hair loss. You guys know from those videos that your diet definitely can play a role in the health of your hair. So check those out if you are interested in learning more about what key nutritional factors go into building strong, shiny, healthy hair. If you're battling with telogen effluvium, the other thing that I would highly suggest you do is take a break from heat styling your hair. Heat styling puts a lot of wear and tear on the hair and can lead to breakage. So not only will you have shedding, but you'll also have the hair breaking off, and that can make your hair your overall hair density even thinner, which is the last thing you want. In addition to avoiding heat styling, I recommend not chemically treating your hair, which means no perms or even hair coloring. I mean, it just really can leave the hair shafts quite brittle. So taking a break from those things can really help reduce that excess breakage and help with recovering from the telogen effluvium, or at least regaining that density. Another tip is to avoid tight hairstyles. Wearing your hair in tight ponytails can put a lot of traction on the hair and cause breakage and something called traction alopecia. I've got another video about this issue. I know a lot of you cope with it, but it's not uncommon to be dealing with telogen effluvium and then have some background traction alopecia or traction hair loss going on from tight hairstyles. That really makes the overall shedding seem much more drastic because you've got that overlying component of the increased breakage. Another thing in terms of your hairstyles that can increase breakage is using long hold hair styling products like gels and mousses, particularly along your hairline. The hairs here in the frontal hairline are a lot more fragile, and those long hold pomades and mousses and gels and things, they have a high alcohol content that can dry out the hair shaft and make it more prone to breakage and more brittle. And overall, that's going to make the hair density much thinner. Beyond your diet and addressing your hairstyling practices and your hair care, don't forget to address your emotional health. you know, do not hesitate to seek out professional mental health help from a licensed counselor, psychologist, or a psychiatrist, because your mental health can feed directly into your hair cycle. And you know, if you are under extreme mental stress, that is definitely going to likely put you at risk for telogen effluvium. And I think a lot of people are often nervous or hesitant to seek out that support. I want to encourage you guys to do that, because no one's gonna force you to do it, but not doing it, it's gonna infiltrate into all areas of your life, and your hair is telling you firsthand that you need to take care of yourself. I know a lot of you guys maybe are struggling right now, especially with the pressure of the holidays upon us. So I really encourage you guys and want to push you guys to not hesitate to seek out that professional mental health. Even if you don't think you need it, it can't hurt. It can only help you. Speaking of mental health and hair, don't forget, make sure you are getting good quality sleep. This is something I think we brush off all the time, but try and get those 8 hours. I mentioned this a few weeks ago in a video, to try and make it a goal to start getting 8 hours, and to start now. If you haven't started already, go ahead and try tonight to at least get an hour more of sleep. If you are having trouble getting you know, your 8 hours, try and shoot for an extra hour of sleep. Maybe go to bed earlier, or allow yourself to sleep in later if you're able to. Staying healthy is the goal. You guys don't want to get run down, stressed out, and sick. When you're sick, you lose days of work, lose money, and make you more stressed out. So I hope these tips help you guys in understanding a little bit more about how stress feeds into our hair cycle. The key is to stay healthy. I know it's challenging. We have a lot of obstacles in our day-to-day life that seem to get in the way of a healthy lifestyle. So definitely check out Athletic Greens. If you guys are interested, you can get a free gift with my link in the description box. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.